Hello everybody and welcome back to the SOOP Duel series. Today we're looking at Best versus Rush. What a matchup, guys. These two incredible players going head to head for 7 games. Or best of 7. I hope it's 7 games long, but we'll see. Best has been putting out some amazing performances recently, but this series was played back in 2024. It seems like the SOOP Duel series has been going for a while over in Korea, and seems like it's been going since about September 2024. But SOOP is just feeding us slowly the best of the best series that they had, and going through their backlog, sort of catching us up slowly over time, picking out the players that they think are going to give us and the matchups that we're going to be most interested in. So definitely this one was high on my list. Best versus Rush, another great TVP. Looks like a Nexus first, cross-spawn scout. Best. He's going to find out that, unfortunately, a CC is on the way. CC first here from Rush. That is very, very good for Rush. Dude, Rush is in an awesome position here. I love it. I love that Rush went CC first here on Radeon, because it is so common for Protoss players to go Nexus first here. It just happens all the time. So picking up on that and just going directly into his CC, not even scouting. He's like, yeah, whatever. If I lose, I lose. But most likely, I'm going to win. And he's going to send that scout out now. Most likely, this is going to work out for me, so why not? We don't even need to scout. Second gateway on the way. Dude, you don't need that second gateway, Best. This is CC first, my friend. Get a robo out, or take a third Nexus. Something needs to happen here. Second gateway over here in the main. Definitely not necessary to defend. There's not going to be an SCV pull or Marines, anything like that. Rush is getting his factory. And I'm really feeling his spot right now. The nice thing about Nexus first is that you can get a very quick third base and be pretty safe. But the nice thing about CC first is your 2-base timing is going to be insanely strong. You're going to be able to have just so many factories so quickly that you'll be able to break that third base wide open. And I'm not sure if Best has fully realized. Like, I thought he would have canceled that second gateway, but he just let it finish there. I'm not sure if he fully realized that this was the CC first, but I think he had a pretty good idea. It's just he didn't even poke in with the probe. He didn't go all the way in. Didn't try to harass any SCVs. He just kind of pulled back. He's going to go ahead and get his robo up now. But you can see Rush is ahead on workers. The guy's going to get his full economy online here so quickly. He's going to be able to set up a turret ring. Oh, and a starport over here in bottom left as well. Rush gonna get into a drop play. Sneak some vultures out on the map and try to get a drop going. There's something down in bottom left. Actually, I think that's a Dragoon scouting everywhere. That would be crazy if he found that proxy location. No, it's actually a pro, but he still might see this. Seems like he's on a shift click. Just going it down to bottom left, and there it is. He sees it. Oh my gosh, that's unreal. The fact that he saw that. He really wants to finish this. Rush really wants it to finish. Okay, never mind. I thought he would let it finish and then float it over the high ground so that he could at least get a quick science facility, but no. Best shuts that down. No drops for Rush. He'll have to just throw down more factories and try to use this strong position he's got with the CC first to start to push out, put some pressure on. Like I said, 2-base timing is pretty darn strong. When you have that CC first, you can come up with a lot of units here early on. It's going to be tough for Best to keep up with that. But adding on the starport and canceling it, that does cut down on a bit of time, some factory time. Could have been building a factory. Adding that on a little earlier. Ooh, the run by here is very good, Rush. Running straight up that ramp. Gonna set up some mines here in the high ground. At the same time, gonna push across the map with his tanks. He knows that the Dragoons will be rushing back home to try and deal with this. Oh, this is some excellent micro as well from Rush. Dude, he is getting so much damage. 8 kills, 9 kills. One more, 10 kills. That is a crazy good. Rush is in an undeniably fantastic position now. 37 probes to 51 is brutal. You're not even going to be able to saturate this third base here, Best. You can see he hasn't transferred any of those probes yet because he's afraid of additional vultures showing up and just raiding that transfer. Making sure he's got enough Dragoons first. But really, Rush has all the workers that he needs. He's got a full turret ring. He's got plenty of tanks. He hasn't lost anything so far. He's going to go ahead and pop those 4 Goliaths. Very important Goliaths to make sure that he can gun down any shuttles that come in. Okay, it's not a full turret ring. I thought he went for a little bit more of an aggressive turret ring there, but seems like it's just turrets in the main. Now going to set up turrets along the ring. Here we go. Putting down these turrets at the edge of his base, and going to get rid of this first observer as well. That is a very nice snipe. Here's that 2-base push that I was talking about. It's all coming together now. Rush did the damage early, and he had the build order advantage as well. So in any game, if Rush is going to win any game, it's this one. However, Best is one, if not the best player at dealing with these 2-base pushes. He is so incredibly good at just getting the exact right number of units and taking the engages at the right time, in the right position. Utilizing Reavers here is not his forte. He's not the absolute best with them. But shuttles, zealots, Dragoons, and High Templar, that is where he really does excel. Ooh, I heard a mine connect there. Not sure if it softened up these few Dragoons here or not. Oh, can he actually pick these up? Oh, gotta be careful there, Best. Does manage to pick them up. Gets a couple shots off. Not bad. But you can see he's not maintaining the speed on that shuttle. Kind of hard to do this right now while you're controlling everything else. And indeed, he is starting to falter here. Rush pushing forward even further. Tanks sieging up closer and closer. Where are the Zealot rallies that Best is so well known for? He's got about 7 supply lead right now. Not nearly enough to break a entrenched Terran position, and indeed, Rush is getting entrenched down here. There's the Zealots coming forward now. They need to try and break through this, but they do not have that speed. Not having the speed right now is crippling to this defense. It looks like some of these Dragoons will be, or some of these tanks will be cleared out, but the Dragoons at the end of the day are so low in number, I don't think it's going to matter. The tanks are pushing forward further and further. Some Dragoons are catching a few rallies coming up, which is a strong move. Trying to get over there and stop some more forces from making their way down from Rush, but now he's up here inside the base. We'll be fighting this cannon, killing this cannon. Probes are going to be pulled to try and deal with this. Does he have... Oh, he's picking up all of his probes at the third. Well, not all, of course. He can only pick up 8. and evacuate them back over here to the natural. At least keeping his economy alive, if not in a good state. Rush completely gonna kill it. This Nexus going down with that 2-base push. Best is absolutely on the ropes. He is suffering right now under all the damage that has been dealt to him. The probe harassment and this deadly push. And Rush picks up everything and backs away. This is awesome from Rush. Look at the decision making here. He knows he's done near critical damage. No need to push it any further. We don't want to lose all of our tanks to another Zealot rally from Best. Of course, the Zealot speed's going to kick in soon. So what's the best solution here? Leave a couple of tanks to go ahead and kill off this base, clear it out, and make it hard for him to retake. And we'll go ahead and take our own third. That'll be on time with when Best gets his third Nexus up, and it's a losing situation for Best. He's still alive, but Rush has secured his win condition. It's going to allow Best to somewhat stabilize here, but he'll be ready for another push soon from an even better position. He's just leveraging a better and better position. You can see the Best is nearly mined out in his main and natural. It's very much time to get further bases online. This third is just not going to cut it. Best needs to take a fourth. And when that time comes, Rush will have a near maxed out army with 2 upgrades on the way. 2-1. Hasn't started the armor upgrade, but 2-1. Very important break point. Once that upgrade is done, be ready for that big push. And my goodness, the supply lead is huge. It's going to be a little bit longer here before we get a Rush victory, but I feel like it's inevitable at this point. Just looking for the closer. Now, there are things that can go wrong with this, right? Maybe if he pushed in after killing that third base, he could have gotten the win. It was a little risky, but there are risks involved with this play as well. Maybe Best is able to get some Templar out. Yeah, Templar are going to come out here. Maybe he gets Templar out. Maybe he takes a perfect engagement where he drops Storms on top of huge clumps of tanks and he can reset this game. So there is that potential. There's risks to everything. Although I think it was probably the best play to pull back from Rush and just set up for this next push. There is the potential for a huge swing in this game if Best manages to get the perfect engagement here. It's going to have to be just crazy perfect. In fact, it'll have to be some of the best storms that we've ever seen ever to make this happen. Bit of harassment here, constantly bouncing back and forth between these bases with the drop play. So annoying for Best to deal with. And now that his attention has been pulled away, diving on top of these Templar, Rush is removing that X factor. Look at that. He gets all the Templar. They're all gone. So exactly what I was talking about, how Best could maybe bring this back by getting some amazing storms. Rush is completely... This is a masterclass from Rush, guys, what we're seeing right now. Dive here on top of all of these tanks. The shuttles go down, and one Reaver gets out of that shuttle. That is it. One Reaver pops out, and it dies immediately. Enough tanks remain at the end of this battle that it is too much for Best to handle. GG. Game number 1 goes to Rush in magnificent fashion, just crushing him. Okay, game number 2, Best over here in the top right. We got Rush down in the bottom right. If you asked me at the beginning of this series who I thought was going to win, Best, I would have definitely put my money on Best, but that was a very high-level TVP, what we just saw from Rush. And so he might be winning me over a little bit, honestly. Now, I still think Best is incredibly good, especially in this matchup. And he is, yeah, like Somebody said, Mundane Dave said in the chat, he is a comeback ape. Absolutely. This guy plays better from behind. Kind of ironic, but... Sometimes when we're casting, Shin and I like to joke that he needs to get an early deficit so he can play his best. And we'll see what Best can pull out here. Our next map, I believe this is Polypoid. Polypoid. One of the longest standing maps in the pool. Almost as long standing as Fighting Spirit. This map has been around forever, guys. It's actually not my favorite map as a Zerg player. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I find it pretty annoying to play. Especially versus Protoss, which is mostly what I play against, honestly. Most of my ladder experience is versus Protoss. It just is what it is. I say things like Protoss is easier to play, and people get all mad. But then I just wonder why, you know, 70% of the ladder is Protoss players. And there's no really good answer. Best just pokes in, he sees, and just runs away. This is kind of interesting. 2024 Best is a little different than 2025 Best, honestly. Kind of cool to see his development. Look, he just pokes in, he sees the factory, he just runs away. Focusing on his build more than harassing. And in 2025, we see him getting so aggressive with his probes. Like, he really likes to get in there early and harass those SCVs. Having a very high level of multitasking and task switching. Hitting all the beats of his build while just getting in the face of the Terran player. But today, he's just pulling back his probes every time. He's getting the bare minimum of scouting information and then just running away. Gonna take his Nexus now. Just a Dragoon range expand. He could run by here. Whoa, 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 whoa. He could definitely run by here. Yeah, this is a bit of a tough spot for Rush. Of course, the SCVs will win the fight. He will be forced out. Wasn't able to get up the ramp, get into the main, and have some more area to work with. This is a pretty greedy expansion from Rush. You saw 2-minute 30 factory, and then he came out and started the CC like immediately after. Only made a couple of Marines for the bunker and went for an add-on. So he didn't even have 3 Marines and a Vulture to deal with the first Dragoon. So Rush really cutting corners here early. Getting this tank immediately. Greed, 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 greed. He's getting away with it, man. And another proxy starport. Wow. Okay, didn't work last time. Let's see if it happens to work this time. Time to take the tax. Not gonna get too much extraction here from the Terran economy. Trying to get on the edge where it's harder for the tank to come out and fight. The tank has to come around the top of the bunker to try and stop this. And so there's a possibility of a dive for these 3 Dragoons. 3 only does so much damage. You have to hit it 3 times. You have to hit the tank 3 times to kill it. 3 for 3. And so not having that 4th Dragoon does limit the potential here for these Dragoons and what kind of damage they can do. Now there's a Vulture slipping out. Looks like the Vulture might just go down. Okay, he does get the mine on the high ground. That's not going to challenge that. Not sure how much damage he put on that vulture, but I think it was quite a bit. Oh, the vulture's going to try and slip out. Can he actually catch it? I think he gets the vulture. He does. First vulture goes down without getting anything aside from a mine over by his third. And a couple of mines in front of the natural. Now vulture speed is done though. Can slip out. Important that Best saw that. I don't think Best saw that, man. He was not paying attention. These vultures can go around behind. Lay down mines behind the Dragoons. And then he could come out with the Marines and tank and push them into the mines. But it doesn't seem like he wants to do that. He's more intent on hiding the fact that he's got these vultures out on the map and just getting in there for a drop. This is going to do a lot of damage, guys. We already saw the great control from Rush and how he's able to target very well on these probes, just getting absolute max damage, making sure that he doesn't get probe drilled. It's not really a concern here. He's got so much damage coming out. He's going to be killing an enormous amount of probes. We just saw a huge bout of damage go down, but this could be even equal to that or more. Huge damage with this Reaver. The Reaver actually falls, but it got so many kills, guys. We're down to 29 workers overall. Wow, even more damage here. And look at this. He's not allowing the probes to get this around. Getting even more and more and more and more kills. Just not quite that last one. 31 to 31. These two ravaging each other's economies. Best diving in with the Reaver. Rush getting in there with those vultures, but the problem with Best's position here is that the dropship still exists. The shuttle's dead and the Reaver's gone. That's quite an investment, whereas Rush can keep on leveraging more vultures, man. That's only a small investment here from Rush. He can send some more vultures out, put another drop together, try to get some more damage here. You can even drop a tank. One thing you can do on Radion is you can drop a tank on the inside of the base, near the edge there where you can spot the third. Drop the tank there, siege up, and then get vision with the dropship, and you can hit the probes at the third base. It's kind of a nasty strategy, and you can see that Best doesn't even have a pylon over there, so he wouldn't even see it coming. It would just suddenly lose, 10 probes. It's pretty brutal. That starport making the long migration back across the map. Looks like it's going to arrive at the base here shortly. Both players kind of licking their wounds right now. They've both taken quite a bit of damage. Another vulture dropped into the main. Gonna get some scouting information here, but not more than that. Dealing a little damage with a mine, I suppose, but other than that, Best is ready. Is ready for any other attempts here out of Rush. You can see Dragoons spread everywhere, and we're going to get into this next phase of the game. It's either going to be Rush with a 2-base push, or it's going to be a 3rd base and Best taking a 4th. What's it going to be here, Rush? That's quite a lot of factories, and he's getting those Goliaths out now to help him in his efforts to get out on this map. He hasn't lost any tanks so far, but he's kind of low on vultures overall. That's a lot of factories, guys. 5 in total. Doesn't necessarily say to me that he's going to push with this, but there's a potential, there's possibility there. If Best, for example, loses a shuttle with a Reaver in it, Rush might just want to pull the trigger. A lot more gateways coming online. It feels like Best maybe wants to deny the 3rd. That is possible. Gear up just one massive army and crack that 3rd base as Best tries to take, or as Rush tries to take it. 5 factories should be enough to hold on, but Best seems to crack these open more than anybody else. It's like you actually need more to deal with a Best engagement than any other Protoss player, and you can see he's spreading everything out really, really well. Rush is trying to place these tanks in difficult to attack locations. and set up a good front. But he needs a big round of vultures and mines up in front of that as well. Looks like maybe we're going to see that 4th base from Rush right now, or from Best right now. Getting that 4th base online is critical, but it doesn't mean he's still not just going to ape down on this 3rd base. That's still a distinct possibility. Gonna go for some probes here, throwing away some more vultures. There's a big round of zealots, dude. I think he just scouted the scanned. Oh no, he scanned the main. I thought he scanned the rally point because you really want to know what Protoss is up to here. Seeing that many zealots, that might make you a bit concerned here as Rush. there's reason for concern. But you see Best with a good like 20 zealots sitting at his rally point. You may want to batten down the hatches. Get prepared for a bust attempt. Here we go, guys. I think this is it. He's going for it. Gonna target down one of these shuttles. The front shuttle is gonna go down quite quickly, but a lot of zealots are being dropped here on top of this army, and Bass is getting right up on top here with his Dragoons. Oh, I don't know about this. This is a lot of Dragoons falling. The target fire pretty good from Rush, but it looks like he's gonna break through. Yeah, he just does it, man. He does it like nobody else. Bass is gonna crack through here, kill all the tanks, every tank, all the rally tanks, every single tank in the back line. Maybe Rush barely lives, but yeah, there goes the last tank. And the Zealots are going to work on PCC. That's kind of funny. Well, the Zealots actually might kill that, which makes it a little bit less funny. And look at that. Rush just taps out. Holy cow. That's just did it to him. We're going to jump into this next game, guys. We're going into game number 3, Best, over at top center. Rush in bottom left. I haven't seen this map for a while. Apocalypse. Played a really solid number of games on this map. One of the better 3-player maps. I think that Dominator is maybe a better map than this, but still pretty solid here. Apocalypse. What was that other one that's kind of like Apocalypse? What is it? Ascension? I wasn't a huge fan of that one, but I think this one is reasonable. The problem with this map, though, is it's the inverse of what we saw in the last game. Polypoid, you have, as a Terran player, your 3rd as a high ground, which is quite defensible. But here, your 3rd is a low ground. And the high ground is coming, come down from the high ground into the 3rd base as the Protoss, and there's a wide angle of attack. And so it'll be even harder for Rush to hold a 3rd base here. I wonder what he wants to do to compensate for that. He wants to go for a more aggressive 2-base attack, or maybe some early pushing aggression, like strong FD, something like that. Not sure. But both players are going to be teching here. No more Nexus first for Best. At least not for the time being. Here on Apocalypse. Going to open with some tech. Not even going to scout. Looks like he's just going to go with a Dragoon scout. Which, if you're playing on ladder, I think this is a fine way to play. Most pro players want to get in with that early probe, though, so they can start pushing the task switching and forcing the Terran player to respond, you know, pull SCVs off. Do that kind of thing. A lot of players will actually 50-50 a 3-player map as well, try to get a gas steal, but not Best. He's just going to sit back comfortably here. Oh, sending the Zealot out to scout first. Gonna see this SCV and get tricked. Thinks that Terran is down in bottom right, but it's not the case. And so this Zealot's not going to do anything at all. That Zealot's going to walk all the way down to bottom right, and then going to figure out that Rush is over here making a vulture That Zealot is dead in the water if it doesn't make it back home. To the safety of this Dragoon, he's going to be in trouble. Doesn't see anything. Rush gets denied the scout there by a well-controlled Dragoon. And so Rush here just going to take his CC, it looks like. Does make a Vulture this time, though. Last time he got away with a lot, but this time he has a more standard initial 4 Marines plus Vulture. That'll be able to push away the Dragoon Zealot early game here for Best, and allow him to get a bunker up, get this CC going. We may have mines on the way. Definitely a machine shop's finishing up for Rush. Back at home, Best throws down his own Nexus. And we're going to try to slip this out. No, denied. Would love to get the Vulture out on the map right now, but it's going to be a tall order considering Best is sitting right here, and this is such a tight choke. May have to unload the bunker when the tank pops out and force these Dragoons back so he can actually get some space to move out. Trying to bait the base disruption shots by just pulling the Marine out of the bunker. Here comes the tank. Gonna start to put some damage here on this Dragoon. That's some good damage to start this off. He may unload the bunker here and try to go forward. Not just yet, but oh. Best sensing weakness. There might be a bit of a mistake made here by Rush. Gonna get the shot off. He does get that final hit and kills the tank. That was a bit of a risky play, and indeed he's gonna lose 2 Dragoons for that. Plus the Vulture gets out on the map. So 1 tank, 2 Dragoons, and the Vulture gets out here. I'm not so sure this is a good trade for Best. Generally, I would say killing the tank is always good, but this 3rd Dragoon may end up going down on the retreat. It's actually going to take a long path around to try and survive here, and Rush is just going to move out. He's got a whole bunch of Marines. That's that strong FD. Well, not quite strong FD. That's only 4 Marines, so if I know my build order names here, it's not quite that, but it is going to be pretty strong for Best to deal with. Setting up some mines here at the front. Good target fire on that first initial mine, but the Zealot goes down very quickly. No more mines available here in the tank. Second tank is coming up. Second, oh wow, DT drop. We didn't get a shot of the Protoss base during all this, so we never saw DT drop is the follow-up. That's actually quite a dangerous play right now. Doesn't give you a lot of overall units to deal with this, but 1 DT to push back the army, another DT to come in here and try to deal some damage. The Academy just started and turrets are finishing up in the main, but will they be in time? Oh, losing some health on that DT. DT gonna go to the back corner, starting to crawl these turrets back in towards that DT. The front is secure. 1 supply depot maybe gonna go down here. Okay, mine right up next to this DT, but gets back into a corner. Gonna pick up that DT. Supply block for now. This is some damage, but 1 supply depot is not gonna be enough. At least he managed to shut down that attack, force it back. He got a tank kill as well with the DT, so that's something, I guess. Generally, from a DT play like this, you want a little bit more. Follow up. Gonna be Arbiter play from Best. Try to force out some scans with this DT drop and utilize the lack of detection from the Terran player to keep that pressure going. Try to take some solid engagements now. Dropping a DT in the main again. He's going to go for this machine shop, of course, with the scan. And get rid of that. But like I said, pick up into the dropship. Now Dropping back down again, forcing another scan. That's really going to limit the amount of scans available to Rush. Third base on the way, run by here. Oh, can he get past? Oh, DT in the wall. Nicely done. It looked like an open wall, but it was indeed not. Trying to force another scan here. Oh, gotta be careful. Oh, gosh, he's going for a tank there. Not well controlled in that main base. Gonna put some more damage on the machine shop, actually. Maybe even killed it, but instead, losing that DT there. Getting baited into the vultures and tanks. Arbiter on the way. We got a game on our hands, boys. We got a real game on our hands. I don't see Best do Arbiter too often, but he tends to throw it in there. He's competent with the Arbiter play. It's just Rush may be able to hold this third. And we're not going to have that huge wave of Zealot Dragoon with Shuttle coming in to break this. And so there's a real possibility Rush holds a third and gets to power up in a big way, make his way into the very late stages of Terran versus Protoss. And I'm not sure if Best can hang with him. We saw some great task switching, some great multitasking from Rush earlier on. I'm sure that he's capable of getting some vessels out and having EMP ready. Not sure if Best's Arbiter play is going to be up to snuff. Is it going to pass the sniff test? Well, Best looking to take his fourth base. Vulture's in position to possibly snipe the probe as it comes in. Ooh, it could be a big snipe here. No. That does get denied. Probe will be able to take that fourth. In good time here. Pre-10 minutes, or pre-11 minutes, excuse me. As is Rush's third. So things are on curve here on both sides of the map. Should have a starport and science facility finishing up in a moment. Rush gonna hit that +2 timing. +2/+1 will be his strong timing to maybe get a push going. He could go for a fourth base as well. Just gonna play this slow, hold his high ground, and prevent Protoss from taking the other third of the map, that right-hand side of the map, that main base and natural in third. If he can hold 4 bases down here in his third of the map and prevent these bases over here from getting taken, Rush stands a pretty good chance of winning. He could absolutely just use that as a win condition. Setting up some mines, seeing if he can get away with starting to defend that area preemptively, get some mines over there, start to set up some turrets potentially, and then look to take that fourth base. Ooh, Scan sees the Arbiter as it's en route. As we saw, though, no recall, but Best maybe wants to fake that recall. Sending the Arbiter over there might force Rush to build a whole bunch of extra turrets over on that left side of the base, and that could be helpful. Yeah, I like that. Force Rush to build a whole bunch of defenses in the main, set up all of his mines in the main, and then just go for a frontal assault with a bunch of stasis. Seems good to me, man. Seems like a pretty good use of that Arbiter. Misdirecting the Terran army. Not a lot of mines up here at the front, actually. A lot of tanks, very well spread. You're not going to get more than one tank in a lot of these areas. Now some more club tanks are coming over here on the left-hand side. Maybe he goes for a stasis on all the vultures and just crack this with a whole bunch of zealots. Maybe he does finish recall. Did he finish recall? Is he actually going to go for recall? Maybe I'm completely off on this and he actually did finish recall. Yeah, he's going to go in. Wow, all right. Fly all the way into the main. There are some mines here at the top side. A lot of these zealots and dragons will die immediately. Upon entering the Terran base, everything going to be pulled back pretty quickly. I think Rush clears this with relative ease. That was a good mine drag there, actually killing some of these tanks. Some SCVs are going down, but you can see a lot of the army getting cleaned up very quickly. Nice lift there on the CC, just getting it out of the way so he can clean this up. And he's going to keep his all-important armories alive. Those armories are going to stay intact. And best first recall. I mean, not the greatest recall ever. Has to be said. Really not getting the damage that he was looking for. And the follow-up attack potential here, not looking great for Best. I think he's gonna have to sit back and just wait for Rush to start to push out. Pushing out over his mines is gonna be hard. Okay, taking the main base over there in center right. That's a very good move. Want to put a clock on Rush here. Make him a little bit nervous about that base getting set up and winding up with Best having 2/3 of the map. Secondary recall coming in. He's just going to recall the same spot. There's a lot of mines there, guys. The mines have been remade. Here we go. Recall. There it is. Recall follow-up here into the main. Oh my god, what? Dude. What an insane mine connection. Holy. All right, that might have actually... That might make it work out for Best. I wasn't really feeling the second recall there, but... Holy crap, that does a lot of damage in the end of the day. The SCV train gets obliterated by a mine. I was a bit worried that those mines were gonna completely wipe out the recall, but the SCV train is in fact a victim of those indiscriminate mines. This is why laying mines is a war crime, guys. They don't discriminate between friend and foe. Of course, after a long war, if there's lots of mines everywhere, they're a danger to civilian population. That's why they've been outlawed in a lot of places of war. The Hague, whatever it is, I can't even. I don't know. I don't know politics. I'm a Starcraft caster, but I know that mines are completely indiscriminate in there. Doing a lot of friendly fire to Rush's SCV train. Thinking about going for an attack here, but that's a lot of tanks. Doesn't want to take that fight just yet. Rush cleared all of his mines and grouped up his army in a very tight formation. Could have gotten a great stasis on this army, but wants to pull everything together here before going again. Oh, a late siege up here, and here comes the Arbiter. Stasis on all of the... Oh, he's actually going to try to stasis the... Oh my gosh, what amazing storms. It goes for the stasis on the sides vessel. The storms blanket this entire army, dealing a huge amount of damage. He backs away before losing all the Dragoons and Templar, but Rush will hold strong. In fact, 134 supply. Should be able to secure a 4th base with this. I don't know about a push, though. Hey, Rush, slow down there, buddy. Pushing across the map is a little bit crazy right now. More storms on the advancing units, and maybe Rush is figuring it out. Yeah, might not be a good idea. He sends a SCV down to the 4th base. Sees that there is a DT down there. We'll have to scan again to find that, kill it off. SCV gonna go ahead and start that CC. And so we will see Rush try to lock down 4 bases, go to 3-2, and maybe get another push going, but Best has so many tools to deal with this. The Arbiters, the Recalls, the Stasis, the Storms, and all of the drop play that he's been working with this game. Rush backing up a little bit. +3 is already done. Wow. +3 is finished. And so Rush's army is quite powerful 155 supply. But these spells are really going to hinder him in any fight that he takes. Best is all set up and ready to attack into this position. Actually, he's got a big, wide army setup. Doesn't have a lot of Templar here, and he's only got the one Arbiter. Can he go for like a massive stasis on a huge group of tanks? Looks like no. Instead, gonna dive into the main. Another recall here. That's gonna eat a lot of these mines, though. A lot of mines do end up exploding on these initial units. Try and get a mine to connect there. Doesn't get it. And the armories are kind of done their work. That +3 is finished, so even targeting one of those down now is not going to be that strong. Terran Mech moving directly across the map. Dude, Rush is just going to go for it here. He's pulling the trigger on an attack, going straight across the map. Going to set up in the natural of Best. Best going to counterattack over here towards this base. Down at bottom right, that 4th is going to go down. His main has been cleared. Rush is stable on 3 bases. And Best is losing his rally point. Best does have another rally down at the other main base. This army is huge, though. 176. Oh, maxed out supply for Best. He's going to try and get in here on the 3rd. Rallies are going to come out of Rush. I think Rush has done a good enough job of dealing with the recall that he's going to have enough rallies to block a kill on this 3rd. And so Best is going to lose 2 bases and potentially even more. Oh, he catches the Arbiter on the way out. Best really needed that Arbiter for the recall to get this army out of the main base. Otherwise, he's going to have to run through mines and tanks to get out on the map. Army coming up to top center. Best desperately needs to move. Actually end up dealing with this. Prevent that Nexus from going down. Arbiter is coming forward, trying to drag the cloaking field on top of a lot of these units. Coming right in here. These are some great storms. Landing on a ton of the tanks, but all of the probes are going to die, guys. Every single probe goes down at that 12 o'clock. Still, Best has some mining over at the bottom right, but that's it. He's got 2 bases mining right now to the 1 of Rush. Rush is going to be faltering a little bit here. If he loses this whole army, things are going to get spicy for him. It's going to be very hard to remax on just 1 base economy. Dude, Best has too much here. The rallies of Rush are going to get broken. The army is not together. Everything going to die here. Rush loses his whole force, and I think Best just did it. Right there, that move right there. Stopping the armies from combining. We got 5 tanks over here, and they're easy pickings now. If those tanks had been with the rest of the army, what Best just crushed could have been a completely different scenario. And now we've got just a few units here on the bottom side. These reinforcements are not going to cut it. Even with the D-Matrix, Best is just going to overwhelm and surround all of these tanks. He's played a magnificent game here. And Rush will tap out. Ooh. That was kind of a risky play. Sending in the recall and going for the counterattack and just letting Rush come across the map. But it ends up working out pretty well for Best. If that recall had just flopped and, you know, completely been destroyed to mines alone, Rush could have very easily pushed across the map. Here we are, guys, in game number 4. Best spawning in top right, Rush bottom left. Rush a bit on the ropes right now. That first game went fantastic for him, but since then it's been downhill. He's looked at times a bit ineffectual against the playstyle of Best. Not able to take these fights, not able to win trades. They really should be able to. That's just the power of Best. his ability to take fights and control large armies, engagements. Not a lot of other players can copy what he does. Maybe nobody on Earth can control quite like he does when it comes to these PvT fights. I was saying in the break, it's kind of like Snow's Reaver control. Copying it is near impossible. And I think there's probably a lot that we don't really notice in what Best does in these engages. That's hard to pick out because so much action is going on the screen as the engagement's happening. What he's actually picking to click and help move forward, or which units are on move commands, which ones are on attack commands, and how he's actually targeting. Can be a bit hard to decipher, but consistently this guy just wins better. He plays better. He does better in these fights. And there's definitely something to that. Best does send out a probe early this time. He's gonna come in and see the CC. No, he doesn't quite see the CC there. Gonna run away from this Marine. Doesn't want to lose the initial probe. Throws down his own Nexus back at home. Pretty greedy Nexus, but the greed is warranted. From cross map, as soon as he sees that it's cross map, immediately throw down that Nexus. No need to delay any further. I wanted to get the Dragoon first, but that was a just-in-case Dragoon. Otherwise, he would have gone Nexus first. Wants to have something out here. And so he will be able to perhaps deal some pressure to that early bunker play from Rush. This bunker expand. Get over here and start to hit that bunker soon. Actually, he doesn't know, man. I don't think he knows that this was bunker expand. He didn't push in far enough with that probe to see exactly what's going on. You might be thinking that the CC is just starting, or that it's on the way right now, but in fact, it's done. And just gonna get away with making a machine shop right off the bat. Not a lot of Marines in here. Rush is optimizing his build. And back at home, Best just sitting and planning his next steps. We're here on Citadel. This is a pretty good map. Solid map overall. Depending on where you spawn, it can be a bit broken. So, let's say, for instance, if Rush spawned in top left, things would become very hard for Best. You can push along that top axis and go through that, or that horizontal axis, go through the corridor at the top part of the map. You can hit the third base that's just to the left of this natural of Best, and you can park tanks inside that third, and along the wall leading into the natural, you can start to hit the gas over the wall. It's pretty nasty, and it's very hard to defend, but here on cross map, I think we're gonna have a very decent game here between these two. No huge advantage on either side due to the map position. And I do like Citadel for that. I feel like it's a pretty overall balanced map, but it does, yes, depend on those positions. I've played some great games on this map as well. I've had some pretty insane ZVPs here, which I've enjoyed. But it is out of the map pool now. It's no longer on ladder. It's been gone for a bit, I guess, since those new ASL maps came out and they switched over, so doing a little bit of a blast from the past here. 2024 map pool. Getting a bit nostalgic here for me, even though it wasn't that long ago. Opting for Armory Academy. Rush getting a couple of Goliaths out early, making sure that he has some level of anti-air and also detection with the scanners, but delaying the addition of turrets by quite a bit in order to get more factories out and front load his build to make sure that he's got everything optimized here. Get his production out early and then get the defenses a little bit later. Start to add those turrets after. So that he can move out without fear. And look at this, he's going to move out before even getting the turrets going. So he's not really worried here. If the shuttle was flying in like right now into the main base, he would be in a lot of trouble. But since it's not, and he got rid of the observer, he's not too worried that the shuttle's just going to come in right now. He's pushing out here, and he's probably setting up some turrets back at home. I'm going to try and get this push going. Best has full information that this is coming. Go ahead and scan, try to kill the observer here. Looks like he will get it. Maybe gets a free shot on one of those Dragoons as well. Shuttle coming forward right as the unsiege happens. Oh, the unsiege. He pulls forward here. Rush gonna siege up once again, kind of delaying this a little bit is best. It's running forward here. He's gonna try and get a tank kill. Can he get one? Oh, dropping the Reavers right as the tanks siege up. He gets a couple of shots off. So the shuttle does die. Great hit there in the middle of all of those vultures. But can he actually target down tanks? He needs to target the tanks here. Not really targeting those too well. Only 2 tanks remain, though. You can see that Rush is pushing for this corridor. He wants to attack over from the top left. Even though he didn't spawn up there, you can just see how powerful it is. Go up to that top left and push along that corridor, and it's going to be very difficult for Best to deal with. Putting down some mines and looking for some probe kills. We'll get like 1 or 2. Yeah, maybe 3 there total. But Rush didn't take a good enough fight to make this push work. He lost too many tanks, so he's going to fall back. Try to set up on 3 bases. You can go into a pretty quick 4 base as Terran. Pretty tight 4 bases. You don't have to spread out too far to get this 4th base online. You take the 3rd at 6, and then you can take the mineral only. And you don't really have to spread out very much. I still have a hard time cracking that open, but he's already got 4 bases online, so he's happy with his spot. He denied the attack. He killed a bunch of tanks. He's got his 4th base online, and the 3rd has just started for Rush. It's a great spot. It's a great time to be Protoss right now. I think that Best could potentially gear up with a lot of gateways and crack open Rush as he's preparing these next couple of bases. More shuttles are being made. High Templar are going to be popping out soon. Storm is going to be ready. Rush is just getting into this 3rd. The 4th has already been going for a bit of time. Best, his supply is going to shoot up like crazy. 64 workers. Is a very solid amount to just crank out a max supply as quickly as possible. We're probably going to see, you know, 60, 70 supply deficit here for Rush as Best just pounds out Zealots and Dragoons. You can see he's adding on even more gateways here. That's a lot of shuttles. Okay, maybe just a budget recall into the main base. Not a bad idea. Most of the Goliaths were killed earlier, and there's not that many turrets back at home. And so he's going to be able to drop most of this stuff out. Can he get a Reaver in a good position to shoot these? Okay, doesn't get the transition of SCVs, but he's going for the Reaver shot now. Can he shoot this one? No, he should have shot that one in the corner. That one SCV at the corner is like 12 SCVs stacked on top of each other, but he doesn't go for it. That's a little bit unfortunate. He could have gotten so many kills with that. The transfer was sent to the very corner of the mineral patch. And Best could have gotten a lot there, but he does manage to do quite a bit of damage. Slows things down quite a bit. Can he get another shot? Not quite able to get another shot on this SCV train, so everything's been cleaned. Best will retreat. Probably going to lose this shuttle as well. And so he's going to go ahead and take a 5th base. Behind this, a lot more units popping out here, and Rush will have to try and take a 4th. That might be the moment here for Best to dive in again. Here comes some storms. That's quite a good setup here. Supply depot on the right-hand side with, of course, these mines all in front. Oh my goodness, these mines getting cleaned out so nicely. The drop on top of the mines does so well. Storms here on a lot of this stuff. Great storms, in fact. Dealing a huge amount of damage to the vultures, which will allow the zealots to do much, much more in this fight. Does get pushed back for the time being, but clears out even more tanks. Slowing down Rush just that little bit more. Dealing that little bit extra damage to him. Keeping him on the back foot as he continues to expand. I gotta say, Rush is doing a pretty good job of holding on to his supply. He's still got 120, the 128, and he should be able to hold this. Good possibility that he keeps this base alive. Contingent on the fact that he gets a very good spread on these tanks. He absolutely needs the tanks to be as spread as possible. There's lots of space to do so here. Cannot be allowing a big storm to hit, 4 or 5 tanks. Now, Best has not secured another main base, which is a big problem. Does need to get another main base online sooner rather than later if he wants to take this long. If he is going to allow Rush to have that 4th, he needs a main. At least one. And so he will send a probe down to bottom right while going in for another drop to try and hurt the economy a little bit more. And this really isn't going to do too much. The storm on all these vultures is nasty, though. Oh my goodness. A lot of vultures go down. Some SCVs end up falling as well. Not the greatest damage, but hey, that's something for sure. Not sure if it was worth 2 shuttles and the amount of zealots and High Templar that were brought forward, but who am I to judge? We've got double Stargate Arbiter follow-up. Oh, I like it. Should be interesting. He really does need to get this extra base online, though. Down at bottom right. Oh, we got a glitched mine here. Please just kill that. Oh my gosh. Okay, there it is. It does reset there. Went back underneath the ground. I was talking about mines a bit earlier, but how freaky would that be if spider mines were a real thing? Mines are scary enough as it is, but imagine just completely indiscriminate. Anything that's conceived as an enemy pops out of the ground and then runs at you and then explodes. That would be one of the scariest things. I think, in Broodwar, if that was in real life. Leave your comment down below. What do you think would be the scariest real-life unit if one of these Broodwar units was brought into reality? From the Terran side, of course. If you're talking about Zerg, yeah. There's a lot of scary stuff that, if brought into real life, would be extremely frightening. Best here. Getting expanded out. That's a lot of tanks stacked up. Gotta be careful with that. I don't think Best is gonna dive in necessarily. And in fact, he's behind in supply by quite a good amount. Rush has banked up a lot of forces, and if things go his way, he may be able to shut down this base in bottom right. He's actually pushing through the middle. I'm gonna try to take a fight, maybe go up towards that corridor I was talking about. Try to push into the natural that way. So with this many forces, it might be better to just push directly through the middle rather than go along that pathway. Plus, with all the storms and everything, might be playing into Best's hands to go through a tight choke like that. It's not really a choke unless your army is 200-200. EMP, big EMP there. He hits one of the Arbiters, getting rid of the energy on that before it can cast even a single spell. Now Rush going to be pushing down towards bottom right. I guess he was setting up his flank over on that left-hand side, and now going to push down towards this base. Shutting this down would be shutting Best out of this game. If he can get rid of those bases in bottom right, then Best is kind of dead in the water. He really doesn't have another main base to speak of. Here we go. A bunch of shuttles going to be pulling forward, diving on top of this stuff. Zealots in the mix on top of everything. These Zealot bombs are doing great. He's going to pull the shuttles out after the fact. Not enough damage, though, and no storms came out during that. No storms at all. Even though the tanks were so stacked up. Oh, carrier. Oh my goodness, hidden carriers here at the center right. So Best is going for every tech imaginable. No wonder his supply is low. He was saving up for carriers. He's gonna be able to pop out 3 anyway, it looks like. 3 carriers are gonna be able to pop out and run for the hills. Just barely gets that 3rd carrier out before the Stargate dies. In fact, we're probably going to lose the fleet beacon here as well. Might be able to queue up a few carriers before that happens over in the main base. I know he has 2 Stargates over there at least. So going up to a total of 5 Stargates in this game. Good storm there. Blanketing some of these tanks. Not sure if he has any more storms available, though. Here comes the army down towards this bottom right. EMP goes out and not able to get a stasis or anything out of that unit, so just gonna return to safety down in this bottom right, but it's not gonna be safe for very much longer. Rush is pushing in that direction. Looks like carriers, I think carriers gonna be sent around the top. No, Zealots heading this direction. You know, those are a little too fast for carriers. Actually needs to start leveraging these carriers out on the map. Have to do something with them because Rush is completely maxed and he's got too many bases online. This is going to get harder and harder for Best the more time goes on. Rush is just going to bank up a huge amount of money. Can't really build carriers just yet. Doesn't have that fleet beacon anymore, as I was talking about earlier. Managed to get rid of the science vessel, but these carriers are having a hard time dealing any damage to this army. The army is just so big right now. Even with 5 carriers, hard to contest this. That is a huge amount of Goliaths. He needs like blanketing of storm on every single Goliath that can stand a chance at pushing this back, but he's gonna lose his natural. And with that, the Arbiter tech. Arbiter tech is going to go down. The robotics tech is falling as well. The Robo and the support bay here in the natural, so he's going to lose a lot with this push. And in fact, sending off a few units, splitting a few units off to take out the 12 as well. 12 o'clock going down, guys. And Best, I mean, he's looking to be just about dead here. It's going to be very hard to survive this. He will be able to get over and kill a lot of these SCVs, but I mean, there's still so many SCVs available. A couple more storms here, dealing as much damage as he can. Valiant effort so far from Best. Doing whatever he can to try and throw a wrench into Rush. The gears of what he's working with, the mech army, is still looking incredibly strong. These carriers haven't really done anything yet. Best not the greatest carrier player either. And so even with, you know, 8 carriers or whatever he's been able to put together, I'm not sure that he can just straight up start pulling Rush apart. Rush just has so much supply, guys. 2,000 minerals in the bank. Not enough gas. He actually needs some more gas income. His 4th base was that mineral only, so it makes sense, but he needs gas to be able to keep making tanks and, of course, getting out as many Goliaths as possible. Arbiter here, along with the carriers, is a pretty nasty combination, but we don't have any storms. I think that's what is the most important. There's the storms. If you can blanket storms on Goliaths and start to take out masses of them, then the carriers can deal the rest of the damage. Could even throw down a stasis on some of those Goliaths to cut down the amount of damage that they can do. If you can get like a quarter of the army of Goliaths in a stasis, then makes the carrier's job way easier. Rotating around, just picking off tanks here and there, harassing his different bases. Carrier army and Templar army is a bit split now. You can see Rush is in between the two. And so this could be a bit dangerous. Army's moving down towards bottom, or towards center right. If Best is going to make a comeback, it has to be now. He's got +2 attack done. Looks like he's going to go and deny this CC down here while giving up his center right. I'm not sure if this is the call. Best is actually going to go for a counter over towards top left. Hoping that Rush can't deal with all of these bases and he'll have enough income still going to potentially keep these carriers fed with interceptors. No, the carriers is diving on top of them. 1 carrier down, 2 carriers down. Best not paying attention there. He's gonna lose 3 carriers. Are you kidding me? Only 2 for now, but that was really painful. He is getting in here on both of these mining bases. Might kill every SCV over at this location. He's down to 27 probes himself, so he needs this economic damage. No doubt about it. High Templar there. Backing up. Losing these carriers was really impactful. I mean, if he had 2-3 more carriers, it's so hard to push in. It's already difficult, but it's just so much harder. The more carriers that are here, just gunning down all of these Goliaths one by one by one. And Rush is actually starting to falter a little bit. I'm getting a little worried for him. He was in such a good position this game. He's diving on top of the carriers now. Maybe he can kill another couple of carriers. Running these down. There was no Templar in this base. If he had Templar for Storm on the ramp, there's like no way you can get in here. With the carriers, you have to run in with the Goliaths first. And the Storm is just going to annihilate them. In fact, the army is coming down here. He's got to save this base. 25 probes remain, by the way. Just 25 probes. Carrier interceptors are getting low. Couple of tanks here. Not much, though. Storm's going to come down. Where's the Storm? Best is controlling his carriers right now. He's not casting the Storm. There's the Storm on a lot of these Goliaths. Going for the probes, it seems. Down to just 18 probes. But you know what? Rush is mining one base as well. Only one base mining here for Rush. His supply is looking pretty good. 130. The army is still pretty strong for Best, but a lot of these carriers were killed. Can Best make it work? With about 5 carriers and a lot of Templar, there's still a shot here. Just needs to get some money storms and get rid of all the Goliaths so the carriers can do their work. Gonna go ahead and scan there. Rush charging down to meet this army. Does he really want to fight up onto high ground against Storm, though? Oh, gosh, that would have been huge, actually. The Science Vessel was coming from behind there and trying to get a big EMP, diving up on top of this ramp. He's going to go for all of the snipes on these Templar. Big Storms, triple Storm, in fact, from that one Templar. He has the Kaidaran Amulet upgrade. Vultures managed to make their way down here into the bottom right. He's killing off every last probe. The Storms were good, but I don't think they were quite good enough. The carriers here are still being pushed back. 125 supply for Rush. It looks like it's going to be enough. Zealot counterattack over towards that center left. Gonna shut down Rush. Make sure that he can't get any more bases online, but he's starting to lose carriers. Carriers are going down here, guys. No High Templar in the bottom right-hand corner once again. And so the Templar not available to try and shut down. Nice scan there as well. Sometimes in these crazy situations with carriers and all that fighting going on, a DT can just start to wreck your army, but he immediately spotted that out and it gets the scan down. Only 10 probes remain, guys. 200 minerals in the bank. Rush, I think, has done it. He kills one of the last carriers. Only 3 remain. He has no mining. Rush is not mining, by the way. Neither is Best. With only 5 probes, even if he gets a Nexus online, he can't really mine. Rush, all he needs to do is float a CC out to a base, and he can suddenly have a bunch of income coming in. An Arbiter was made. Really, some of the last money from Best goes into an Arbiter. Not sure if that's the right call, but that's the one he's decided to make. Backing up here, Best. Gonna lose the remainder of his ground army. A few more units here and there are available to him still, but pure DT with Arbiter. Does he have enough cloaking to make this work? Are there enough scans? I mean, maybe if he pushed in with the carriers and killed the few remaining scanners, maybe there's a shot. But there's the scans. They go down. He's gonna clear out this army back at home. The carriers are too far away to do anything about this. There's no Goliaths here, though. 0 Goliaths right now for Rush. And so the air army is gonna be brutal. That was a great mine connection as well, by the way. And Rush not gonna really get much out of this. Okay, there's the Goliaths back at home. Can he actually kill every Goliath here before losing all of his interceptors? I don't think so. Yeah, the last of the interceptors is gonna go down. And with those last interceptors, Best shot is out. He's got no more chances in this game. Dude, what a back and forth here. This game was incredible. Here we go, Best. Spawning bottom left, Rush top left. Retro, a great map. Kind of a Fighting Spirit remake that solves a lot of the problems that Fighting Spirit had. This is a map where we oftentimes see Terran players taking the center. Kind of one of those rare maps where the center base is actually quite relevant. Kind of difficult to go beyond and split the map here as Terran without taking that center. And so, what are we going to get out of Best versus Rush in game number 5? Well, we're probably going to see Rush fall back on some more of his standard play. That's what I want to say, but I'm not sure. Going for like double robo gateway man with Reavers and High Templars. That is where he excels, but he likes to mix it up. Can't blame him for that. Nexus first. All right. This is punishable, for sure. Rush has not built his gas, though. If he wants to punish this, it'll have to be with Marine and SCV. He will not have Vultures and any other follow-up factory units. He's also not scouting this right away, so gonna have a hard time punishing this play. That's gonna go into the main. Scout, see if there's a gas. There's a gas started now. Okay. So he is gonna open with the gas. Maybe he can actually do the push here. Maybe he can pull SCVs and go ahead and break this. He's making Marines. You can see though, this is interesting. He took the gas. If you're playing a normal build as Terran, 2:30 is when you're gonna have your factory started, but he's way behind the curve on that. There is the SCV pull. It's gonna be just a bunker bust and then a follow-up factory after the fact, which, I mean, fair enough. It's just kind of an on-the-fly play here by Rush. He's gonna lose that SCV. Uh-oh. SCV's dead. And the probes are gonna get near to these Marines, actually putting a little damage on them, in fact, before this attack fully commences. Here's the SCVs trying to surround the Marines and prevent the probes from getting on top of them. Oh, he gets that one more hit on the SCV, getting rid of that. He does kill the Zealot and finishes the bunker, but loses all of his Marines behind it. Now all he needs to do is prevent this one Marine from getting in the bunker, and he does. Prevents the Marine getting in the bunker. Can't retreat back now. That is the name of the game from here. Just stop the Marines from getting in the bunker. That's it. Don't let the Marines in the bunker. Kill this bunker. There it is. He gets rid of it. Now things have been reset, and Best is in a fantastic position. These SCVs here going to continue to die, and running back home is just not an option. Rush taps out Best, takes a quick victory on Retro. Wow. Here we go. Game number 6. Best versus Rush on Dark Origin with an extra point on the board there. Easily won by Best. He just needs one final victory to clutch this series out. I'm just cheering for Rush here, hoping that we can make it all the way to that game number 7. Get a repeat on Polypoid. Rush got absolutely blitzed down on Polypoid as he tried to take his third base. Completely shut out of that game by a well initiated and controlled bust from Best. And so want to see him get a chance at redemption on that map for our game number 7. Still has to find a way through here on Dark Origin. It's a tough map. You're gonna get gas stolen, almost no doubt. Can he block it? No, can't really block it. He didn't want to cancel the SCV to get the gas started a little bit earlier. And so he's just gonna have to eat this. Best may want to go with the Zealot pressure off of this. He's got the gateway in the front, so no Nexus first timing from him. Zealot's going to be filed across the map. See if Rush can hold on against that. It does take a fair amount of fine movement. We didn't see that too well represented in our previous game, Retro. Not able to control his Marines properly to block the Zealot and keep the probes off of him. Keeping the SCVs surrounding the Marines is tough, to say the least. Now, maybe he can throw down an eBay here in the natural and make this tough for Best. He's trying to just body block and fight this probe initially. There it is. The eBay gets started. Oh, he's going to lose the SCV. That's a bit unfortunate. So the SCV is lost, and that eBay is really not going to block at all. You can see the 400 minerals is in the bank now, and Best throws down his Nexus on time. 4 Marines here is enough to easily deal with this Zealot. Only 1 attack gets off. Will be pushed back for now. Can easily take his own CC in good time and get this bunker going. And I feel like this is a pretty reasonable spot for both players. Nothing crazy here in the early game aside from a little bit of trading back and forth. We're going to see Best getting into his tech rush along the same lines. Getting ready for the next stages of this game. And I've forgotten to change the music here for a little bit, so we're going to go back to Terran music now as Rush tries to bring this one back. Get us to a game 7. Come on, Rush, you can do it. Marines pushing out across the map. A little bit scary here for Best. Hasn't been building many forces off of this single gateway. Only has the one Zealot. Okay, there's the 3rd Zealot popping out. So total 3 is definitely enough to deal with these Marines. And as soon as Rush sees that, gonna have to back off. 6 Marines not gonna cut it. But forcing out 3 early Zealots, it's not too bad. He's gonna make some vultures. Potentially go for another push here. Another Zealot pops out. Interesting. He gets in. Sees no range robo. We might have a push timing here from Rush. With no range. Best is going to be a bit weak here in this early game. 2 factories are on the way. Looks like as they finish up, just going to start making vultures. Yeah, this is great. Just make vultures. Could even continue to make Marines here as well. You're going to do very well. If he does go for a pretty quick push. There's the Cyber Core researching range. But it's not going to be done here for quite some time. Vulture slides past behind that Dragoon. Can he get past into the main? That's the key thing. Oh, there we go. 2 hits on that, but still painful for Best. He throws down his 3rd. Dude, Best is getting greedy here. If Rush puts together a good push timing, he could absolutely win this game. Oh, gonna lose that. Ah, he only gets 1 probe. Uh-oh. Well, that's not very good. You definitely want more than 1 probe for your first vulture. And so Best might actually get away with this. He doesn't even know about the 3rd, I don't think, either. Rush has no idea about that. If he did know, I think he could pretty easily set up for a 4 factory play. Even 3 factory. Just go for a little bit of a faster timing. Really put the pressure on Best because he is skimping in a lot of ways. He did a very late range. You can see that's just coming online now. He's adding these gateways pretty late. He's sitting on 1 gateway for a long time. And he sees it now. He does see it. Gonna try and set up some mines. It's like none of these are gonna stick though, especially with the observer here. Losing that vulture is very annoying. I don't know, guys. I don't know if Rush can make this work. I think that Best is getting away with a lot, and Rush is not in position to punish this. You can see 5 gateways are now done. And Rush is just getting Factory 3 and 4 set up now. Gonna set some mines here on the side and push up with the Marines. Oh, the connection there is actually quite impactful. This is mostly Zealot Army. Let's see if he can bust this. I'm gonna run up and start to lay down mines. There's gonna be 5 Dragoons popping out in a moment. Those 5 Dragoons could be a huge impact in this fight, but first he's actually gonna get rid of most of these Dragoons. Yeah, he's pushing them back, forcing them into these mines. He's gonna go ahead and target that down, but he kills the Dragoon there and runs a Vulture into the main. This is big for Rush. There's not any health on this Vulture, so it will go down, but fighting from high ground here. Best just taking that fight straight up. Rush can just retreat here for a moment and keep sending in Vultures, laying down more and more mines and getting more reinforcements here to try and fight this. He's got the siege mode done. Siege mode is here. Can start to pick off some probes as they retreat. Rush is making this scrappy enough with the 4 factories coming online just in time to really start punishing Best. More and more Vultures coming across the map. Bit of a tornado Terran play from Rush, continuing to just keep sending in Vultures after the initial tank Marine push. Hasn't really made any more tanks after the fact, so he's not going to have too much back at home. Dragoons, that's what Best is counting on, that he can actually crack the front with Dragoons. Maybe he can get in there and deal a lot of damage, but more Vultures are getting in here. This is going to get a little bit crazy, guys, as this attack is coming in from Best. Rush is getting even more probe damage, drawing him down to just 38 probes. Looks like he's been denied. Tanks pushing into the natural. Setting up here. These are definitely sacrificial, but he's trying to get as much value out of this as he possibly can. Controlling these tanks very well. Targeting down the Dragoons that are low on HP. He's going to get a lot of damage here, but these tanks will eventually die. In the end, though, as the dust settles, a lot of damage was done. And Rush is safe back at home. Nothing that can really kill him right now with all of these tanks out. Maybe Best can try to bulldog him if he's got 5 Zealots popping, or 4 Zealots and a Dragoon plus a shuttle. Maybe he can try to break through the front. He's got a lot of Dragoons to work with. However, if Rush plays safe and gears up, he could do a follow-up attack that's very strong. He's got 6 factories now. And he only threw away 3 tanks and got a lot going with that. A lot of damage. So he can replenish that tank count. You know, get up to like 8 tanks and start to do another very strong push pretty soon. That 3rd base is being retaken by Best, but he's having to remake probes right now. The 6th factory is really coming online. Rush going to start to push forward. Setting up a position for himself. Start to spread these out. Ooh, mine connections there. Damaging some of these Dragoons and revealing their position. Rush pushing forward. It's going to be hard to push across these bridges. You got to be careful with this. However he does it, doesn't want to be losing tanks coming across these bridges. Oh, he loses 1 tank. Dragoon's coming around the side here, but Best just leaves the game. He realized what a tough spot he's in with the Vultures harassing his mineral line again. Rush slips in there and brings us to a game number 7. Hell yeah, let's go. This is a really good game from Rush. Here we go, guys. Best versus Rush, our final game of the night. Game number 7. We've made it here once again. We're going to be playing the bar music. I think we're going to make this a thing. Playing the bar music when we make it to game number 7. I think it provides a certain amount of ambiance to the experience. One of my favorite soundtracks. One of my favorite RTS games. Definitely a 2nd place. A solid 2nd. We got Best here. Opening with Gateway out in front. How will this repeat on Polypoid play out? Are we going to see Best crush Rush on another third base? I'm certain he doesn't want to experience that play again. Going to be doing a better job setting up and making sure that he can't just be broken so easily, Best. Going to scout Rush second, find out that he's cross map, and kick himself for not going Nexus first this game. Whereas Rush, it appears he wants to get into a gasless fast expand. And so with that gasless fast expand, still would have been a reasonable position against a Nexus first. Maybe he was expecting it. So he's going to be able to get this CC started here soon. How committed is Rush going to be? Excuse me. How committed is Best going to be in trying to deal damage to this? You can see that Rush throws down his gas geyser to prevent the gas steal. That does slow down his CC by quite a lot. This bunker expand is not going to be nearly as quick, but it will be a little safer. You won't need to send Marines into the main to deal with that. Not gonna have to pull SCVs off the line either. Should be able to get a bunker up here soon. As 2 Marines on the ramp, a 3rd Marine gonna be popping out here soon. A extra SCV has been brought forward as well. 2, in fact, to make sure that he doesn't lose too much. Great pull there. Great pull. Keeping that SCV alive on 2 HP. Be able to block this Zealot off for just a couple more seconds. Can he keep this Marine alive? He does keep one of the Marines alive, but he loses one. And so we're back to 2 Marines versus 1 Zealot. Chasing that around. Can he actually get this micro? Ooh, a little mistake there with the Marine coming down the ramp, but he does enough damage. He's going to push that Zealot up onto high ground. Should be able to deal with that, no problem. We'll get a bunker out here. Very good control from Rush, handling all of this aggression in the early game. Zealot here gets in, scouts everything, sees exactly what's going on behind this. Great block on the ramp. Great block on the ramp to keep that out. And it looks like a proxy from Best. The second phase here. Robotics facility over at the top center. Could be looking to elevator some units into the main base. Get that Reaver in there before Rush is prepped. See if Rush is able to scout that, or if he'll be prepared for that in the slightest. Double factory behind this. Is he going to go for Armory plus Academy again? This play here, very reminiscent of Stork in the last series that we saw. We saw him do many proxy plays against Terran to try and get in there, deal that damage early. Best is going to take a note out of that book. Go ahead and get this Robo up at 12 o'clock. It is indeed going to be for that Reaver, as expected. Range is on the way. Going to try and pressure this bunker, but Rush, with the earlier gas that he took, this is not a traditional gasless fast expand. The gas was taken in order to block the gas steal. And so tank already out before the Dragoon can even start to hit this bunker. Reaver is on the way. It's going to arrive in the main so much faster than expected. And there's no turrets. No turrets just yet. Rush may be calculating exactly when a Reaver could arrive. And he might miss that timing. Diving forward here on this Dragoon. Getting a lot of damage on that. Another hit for sure. Bringing that down to half HP. More tanks being made, more factories going up here, going up to 4 fact. He's going to have a lot of units to deal with this, but he's not going to have any turrets. Best. How's his control going to be here? Is he going to reach the level of Snow? Or is he going to end up losing this Reaver to the control of Rush, the target fire of these tanks? Shuttle coming in right now. I think the tanks are still down in the natural, and so this is a very dangerous situation. And here comes that shuttle. Diving directly in. Reaver is already here. Big hit. First hit there, doing a lot of damage. Killing about 3-4 SCVs. Second hit on this Reaver, gonna kill the tank. Vulture doing some good, or Zealot doing some good work in the mineral line. Some SCVs have been lost, and in fact, a 12 worker advantage here. 7 kills. There goes 8 kills on the Reaver. This is done. A great job so far. Vulture sliding out on the map now. Just going to deal with this Reaver with his tanks, his few remaining tanks. Taking a shot at the tank. He's got to pull forward. He doesn't want to allow the Scarab explosion to land inside his mineral line. So he eats the full damage, but he doesn't take the hit there on his SCVs. Mine, the natural. But I think there's a few too many Dragoons here. They're going to be able to deal with all of these. Wow, okay, 1 kill does end up happening here. But Best gets the damage he wanted, and he keeps his Reaver alive. Gets out of there. Rush is in a world of hurt. That third base is done. The Vulture run by did not deal the damage that he wanted it to. He will come up here, I think, spot this. Yeah, gonna see that. Very annoying. Robo over here, that proxy Robo that did so much work. The push is gonna come out. Rush still gonna go with this 4 factory play. Try to come across the map and deny that third base. Best has all the tools to deal with this, guys. He's got a very decent supply. Of course, about 20 of that is in extra probes, guys. So the supply advantage is a little bit different than how it looks. Oh, that Scarab connection is so brutal. Oh my gosh, the Scarab connection is absolutely brutal. Another great Scarab hit there. And another one here in the middle, and GG is called. Rush taps out. Dude, everything going wrong for Rush in this game, and the proxy Robo finisher. Excellent play from Best there. Getting in there and finishing him off. Not quite the epic Game 7 that we were looking for. But there it is, guys. Best takes it home. Manages to win this series and solidify his dominance. Even here in 2024, when this series was played. Great series overall, absolutely. Thank you for being here, guys, in the chat. Mundane Dave, Ben Jixer, Igloo Pilot, I see you as well. Vtran, Gallons, all you guys. Teeves. Appreciate you guys being here. Dabmen. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can absolutely come over and support this series live at SCTVEN. The link is in the description, of course. What else to say about this series, guys? Really close games. The Polypoid games both went to Best. Handling his business, man. But also showing a great range of play. You love to see it. Going for a DT drop. Let's list the different builds he went for this game. He went for DT drop. He went for Reaver. He went for a proxy Reaver. He played some really heavy greed. He did some, gas steal into Zealot Punish. Really showed a great range of play. And he even went for carriers in one of these games. We don't expect to see it out of Best. It's not his forte, but he tried to mix it up as much as possible. And show us a great little series here, guys. That is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to link you guys a add-on for Google Chrome and Opera browser that will allow you to remove any spoilers from your YouTube videos It removes the progress bar and the timer. When you see a video, you won't be able to see exactly how long it is, so that you won't be spoiled for anything like the ASL or any of these series, the StarCraft series. It was made by a fan of StarCraft, a fan of the channel, in fact. And so I have linked that down below in the YouTube comments or the YouTube description. Definitely go download that. We're not going to be doing as many anti-spoilers anymore because of that. And so hopefully that will kind of fix the problem, and I won't have to spend a whole lot of time adding on extra time to the end of these videos and kind of ruining myself in the algorithm. We're trying to survive here, guys, so I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. Another great series here between Best and Rush. We're getting to the latter end of our SDS series. Tonight, guys, KCM is going to be coming out. We got another SDS on tomorrow, and then the next day as well. Actually, 3 days. So tomorrow, the next day, and the next day is going to be SDS. And then we're going to have another 5 more SDS beyond that. 20 per month, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Putting heart and soul into these series, guys, and putting in a lot of time here to entertain you guys. So hope you guys appreciate it and enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.